Hello and thanks for joining us on NT Nationwide. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The Code of Conduct Tribunal has found the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, guilty of all the 6 charges of false assets declaration. As a result, he is to vacate office as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, forfeit all the monies in the undeclared accounts to the federal government, and banned from hosting public office for the next 10 years. The judgment was handed down by Chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
After 4 months of trial on a 6-count charge of false assets declaration, Justice Walter Onoge's fate concerning those charges has now been determined by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, who read the judgment, adopted the position and arguments of the prosecution, holding that Justice Walter Onoge was in breach of the Code of Conduct for public officers by not fully declaring his assets and then admitting to forgetting to so do. But before pronouncing this judgment, the tribunal first had to determine the issues of jurisdiction, which he assumed by reversing the tribunal's earlier position in the case of Justice Sylvester Nguta, a Supreme Court justice who was brought also for assets declaration. The chairman also declined to recuse himself in the case, saying he had no conflict of interest since the EFCC had withdrawn the charges filed against him. With these 2 issues cleared, the tribunal then passed its sentence on Justice Onoge.
Yes.
It's a sad day in our nation's democracy.
Yes.
And we know that all is not over with this matter.
Correct.
The wheel of justice grinds slowly. It grinds slowly but surely. And this is not a matter that will end here.
Yes.
We shall avail ourselves of all the processes, the hierarchy of the judiciary.
Judgment has been given. And we are okay with the judgment.
Here we go again with history being made at the Code of Conduct Tribunal and in the effort to ensure that there is probity in public office, with Justice Walter Onoge being told to vacate office and then forfeit the items in his account which he failed to declare to the federal government of Nigeria. But like the defense team has indicated, this may well be another step in the fight to ensure that he gets justice, so they say, and they will avail themselves of all the appellate processes that are available after a judgment from the Code of Conduct Tribunal. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NT News.
We will have an analysis of the judgment in the course of the bulletin. In this next report, Dele Atumbi takes a look at the trial of the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, that lasted 4 months with the adoption of the final addresses of both parties on the 15th of April 2019 at the Code of Conduct Tribunal.
Justice Walter Samuel Nkanu Onoge was born on 22nd December 1950 in Okurike, in Biase local government area of Cross River State, where he had his elementary education between 1959 and 1965. He thereafter proceeded to Accra in Ghana, where he obtained his post-primary education and A-level certificates. Justice Onoge obtained his LLB certificate from University of Ghana in 1977 and was at the Nigerian Law School, where he had his BL in 1978. The jurist commenced his law practice as a pupil state counsel in 1978 in the State Ministry of Justice, Ikeja, Lagos, where he was till 1979 before commencing his private practice. Justice Onoge got appointed to the bench in 1989 as a High Court judge under the employment of the Cross River State Judiciary. Between 1989 and 2005, Justice Onoge served on the bench of the Court of Appeal. He was appointed to the Supreme Court bench in 2005 and was appointed as the 15th Chief Justice of Nigeria in 2017, having acted between November 2016 and March 2017. Due to alleged false declaration of assets, Justice Onoge was arraigned before the Code of Conduct Tribunal by the Code of Conduct Bureau on January 14, 2019 on a 6-count charge. This arraignment generated a lot of comments, with efforts made in various courts to seek orders to stop the trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal for lack of jurisdiction. While this was on, the Code of Conduct Tribunal, following an ex parte application, issued an order for the suspension of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Onoge, an order President Muhammadu Buhari carried out on the 25th January 2019, pending the determination of the matter. The Court of Appeal in its verdict put the issue at rest by restating the original jurisdiction of Code of Conduct Tribunal to adjudicate on matters relating to asset declaration. This paved way for the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria to appear before the Code of Conduct Tribunal on Friday, 15 February 2019, where he entered a plea of not guilty on the 6-count charge preferred against him. His arraignment after 5 previous failed arraignments as a result of his absence gave the prosecution counsel, Ali Umar SAN, the opportunity to open his case. After his no guilty plea, counsel to the defendant Chris Uche, SAN, applied for his bail, an application which the prosecution counsel did not oppose. The CCT chairman, Danladi Umar, granted Justice Onoge bail on self-recognizance. The prosecution counsel, led by Ali Umar SAN, called 3 prosecution witnesses and thereafter closed his case on Friday, 22nd March 2019. The defense counsel, led by Adegboyega Awomolo SAN, entered a no-case submission which the tribunal ruled against. This verdict from the Code of Conduct Tribunal made the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Onoge, to open his defense.
The issue of jurisdiction is raised. It must be determined before any other thing is done. And much more so, the motion that challenges his impartiality to continue with this matter, that's the one for him to recuse himself, is a threshold motion that he ought to deal with first.
The first time that a court said I will reserve my ruling on challenging my jurisdiction until I'm delivering the judgment.
On 3rd April 2019, Justice Onoge then closed his defense after calling only one witness. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
I'm being joined now in the studio by a legal practitioner, Mr. Kayode Ajulo, to speak more on the judgment. It's nice to have you in our studio.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, with this judgment, how would you address Justice Walter Onoge now?
As it is, my Lord Justice Walter Onoge still remain my Lord Justice Walter Onoge.
Okay.
Despite the fact that the court has already asked him to vacate the office, but the judge still continue to be a judge. And this, I think we won't need to get used to maybe to address him as retired or whatever it is,
yes,
but that's what it is. And I believe he still deserves all the respect of all his colleagues and those that look up to him. But one thing that is so clear, particularly with this judgment, is for one to really realize that our law is no respecter of anybody.
Okay. All right. Now, what does this decision portend for the fight against corruption?
Well, I think it's another giant leap,
okay,
to let us know that the law is still there to really work and to correct whosoever that is found wanting on the wrong side of law. And I think we should know one thing, that this matter may go on appeal and may still go to Supreme Court. But as it is, so far that this is the judgment of the court on the set aside, that's what it is. And we need to really give kudos to both the prosecutor and the defender and those that defend my Lord Justice, particularly seeing that we can see that this is a practice of rule of law by ensuring that all the procedures are being followed. Gone are the days when once you are accused, you are hunted out and you are dealt with. But with this, we can see that everything followed the normal procedure of the law, And I think kudos must be given to everybody for ensuring that.
All right, with this development, what next for the sacked Chief Justice?
Yeah, I believe I'm not the sacked Chief Justice. I believe that he will have his own way how to go about it. Though there is this allegation of whether he has resigned, if actually he has resigned, and I believe, and that is the end of the whole thing, because the Constitution is so clear. His office is one of the offices created by the Constitution, and the Constitution stipulates how such office could be determined. That's either, and one of is by resignation. If actually he has resigned, has been alleged in some quarters, I believe that one, the new judgment may not be of any effect, of no effect, particularly once it's come to his office, because if it is true that he has resigned and the Constitution has already stipulated how such order of such office could resign. I know many people have been saying that maybe the president will accept the resignation or not, but in this way, it is not. This is not the office of master-servant relationship. Okay. It's an office created by the Constitution, and the Constitution stipulates how such offices could be determined. And one of it is that if the occupier resigns, and once he has tendered his resignation, so be it. Nobody can look at whether the resignation is good or not, whether it is right, and that is my position, and I believe that is the position of the law. Okay,
as a legal practitioner, do you think this judgment is fair enough?
Well, what betide me to query the judgment of any court as at now.
Okay.
And I believe if those that defend didn't believe something is wrong, the best way and the best forum to do that is not really here. Is at the court of an appeal. And okay. I believe I will not really like to face the camera to say the judgment is 40 or not. No, even if it's 40, I think I know the right forum to discuss that and to ventilate that. It would be in the court, and particularly I'm not even a party in the matter, so I have a little or no say in the matter. But as far as I'm concerned, one thing that really matters most, what everybody needs to look at, whether our rule of law is being practiced the way it should be practiced. And I want to say, yes, we are doing that.
Okay, so does that mean transparency has a role to play in a nascent democracy?
Certainly. One thing we should know is that one of the tripod, that's the pillar of democracy itself, is transparency. Because by the time you understand what democracy is all about, even those people that rule, that try to hide things, it is for the people, and the people need to know. The essence of transparency is to bring accountability. The essence of accountability is to ensure that every actor, state actors, they are responsible. And why should you try to hide things? Why things should be done in the darkness? If not, it is to do shady things. I believe. How come many public officials spend a lot of money to media to show off what they've done? They've done well, let me use that word. So if that is what it is, anytime you see anybody try to shield things, that means that thing is something is wrong. And I believe transparency is one of the things that makes democracy to strive. And mind you, this is our government.
All right, Mr. Kayode Ajilo, thank you so much for your time. This is the much I can take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And now to order judicial matters, Federal High Court sitting in Kano has sacked Abdurrahman Kawu Sumaila, member-elect representing Sumaila Take Federal Constituency, on the grounds that he was never a candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the last National Assembly elections because he did not participate in the party's primary election. Justice Louis Alago declared Shamsuddin Abdurrahman Bello Dambazao as authentic winner. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the plaintiff dragged the defendants before the court to seek redress in what he described as political twist.
The declaration of Abdurrahman Kawu Sumaila as winner of the House of Representatives for Take Sumaila Federal Constituency on the banner of All Progressive Congress was a subject of litigation at the Federal High Court sitting in Kano, on the ground that the defendant did not contest primary elections. Kawu Sumaila was dragged before Justice Louis Alago by Shamsuddin Abdurrahman Bello Dambazao, who argued that the three respondent was never a standard bearer of the APC for Take Sumaila Federal Constituency, be he never participated in the party's primaries. Counsel to the plaintiff, Abdul Hafiz Khalid, prayed the court to nullify the candidature of Kawu Sumaila because, in the eyes of justice, he was never party's candidate. The complainant was able to prove his case by tendering supporting documents and witnesses who testified in his favor. Justice Lewis Alagao relied on Section 87 of the Electoral Act to rule in favor of the complainant. Reacting to the judgment, counsel to the defendant, Muhammad Awal Kufa, who declined to appear on camera, said they will appeal the judgment. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Reports reaching us from the presidency say President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the new minimum wage. And now to other matters of interest, the House of Representatives has urged states of the Federation to adopt the law on the prohibition of violence against persons towards improving prosecution of cases of violence against women and girls at a summit organized by the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development. Speaker Yakubu Dogara said the law, which seeks to safeguard the vulnerable at family, community and social level, is yet to be domesticated by 27 states of Nigeria, a situation he described as worrisome. Trafficking of persons, sexual exploitation and other harmful practices against children are captured in the Act, signed into law in 2015. Details of this report will come in our subsequent bulletin. Now, wars are mostly fought with the use of weapons to defeat the enemy, but under the non-kinetic efforts of the Nigerian army, there are certain laws that are fought without arms. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has explanations to enlighten us.
Apart from the conventional internal security operations of the Nigerian army across the country, the fighting formation has different non-kinetic projects and programs aimed at winning the hearts and minds of the public. This medical outreach, organized by the 16th Brigade Asaba Delta State, is among the non-kinetic programs of the civil-military relations of the Nigerian Army. 84-year-old Patricia Biachi from Umuachi community in Asaba is among the beneficiaries of the service.
I worked for 35 years, retired. I don't have money. The money they give me as pension is not enough to carry me. So I am happy. For the treatment, for this free treatment, I'm very happy. I thank you and God bless you.
We want to say the Nigerian Army is concerned about our community, concerned about our health, concerned about our family. So we're going to take advantage of this medical outreach so that when I get the medicine to cure the small ailment where they suffer. If when I get big ailments or big disease, our doctor when they here will help you go big hospital to be treated.
The Army Chief appealed to the people to see security as a collective responsibility by ensuring timely provision of credible information to enhance proactive rather than reactive measures to security threats. From Asaba Delta State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still on security matters, the new Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 9, Baba Tijani, has flagged off Operation Pop Order in the zone. The new operational strategy is an initiative of the Acting Inspector of Police, Adam Mohammed, to curb the excesses of criminals in the country. Chinyere Okoli has details.
Addressing the officers and men of the zone in Umuahia, the AIG Zone 9, Mr. Baba Tijani, stressed the need for the police to adopt a proactive measure in fighting crime in the state. He maintained that Operation Puff Adda will be intelligence-based, adding that any policeman found guilty of corrupt practices will be severely prosecuted accordingly.
This operation is going to be intelligence-based operation. The commanders will ensure effective intelligence gathering, surveillance, and monitoring.
He called on stakeholders in the state to join hands with the police to ensure the success of the operation.
I'm appealing to the members of the public within the zone to kindly assist the police, particularly this outfit, with vital intelligence information with a view to arrest the criminals where necessary.
Each command of the zone will be expected to mobilize about 280 personnel for the Operation Puff Adda. In Umuahia, Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
And still on the police, the Niger Police Force has launched the Operation Puff Adder in Zamfara State, aimed at reinforcing the ongoing military operations against the armed bandits and other criminals terrorizing the state. Acting Inspector General of Police, represented by DIG Zone 10, Mohammed Mustafa, flagged off the exercise in Gusau. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The prevailing security challenges in Zamfara State informed the recent renewed commitment by the federal government towards addressing the situation through the introduction of new strategies aimed at reinforcing the ongoing security operations across the state. Operation Buff Adder is one of such initiatives recently launched by the Nigeria Police Force and has now been extended to Zamfara State with a view to complementing the ongoing efforts in the fight against the menace.
The military has started actions, and the hoodlums and the criminal elements are running helter-skelter. With the launching of this today, we are good to go. By God's grace, we're going to sum up this problem that has developed. We thank the Nigerian police for the cooperation we have had so far, and we hope the tempo will be maintained, and we pray that at the end of it all, this operation will become a success.
The special operation is to be carried out by men and officers of the mobile police force and special tactical operatives to be supported by members of the civilian joint task force recruited by the state government. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And still on security, as peace gradually returns to Kajuru in Kaduna State, the leadership of Kaduna Peace Commission has called on all actors to contribute to the peace-building process. Ben Adams reports.
The Kaduna Peace Commission, led by its chairman, Archbishop Josiah Idowu Ferron, on a fact-finding and peace-building mission to Kajuru, met an existing peace and reconciliation process where the local council has asked all those that fled their homes during the crisis to return, as both parties have agreed to live in peace.
We want them to come back to the locality so that we can continue to mingle up together. Let us agree that we are going to stay in harmony with each other. We want to go into agreement now with them that nothing is going to happen again.
Stakeholders at the meeting appealed to Kaduna State government to intervene in the process of releasing their leaders in detention as part of the peace-building process. For those at the IDP camp in Kufana, one of the 8 IDP camps where the commission visited, their plea is that of reuniting with their communities. Addressing the press in Kaduna, Chairman of the Peace Commission, Idowu Ferron, observed that insecurity prevails in 8 out of the 23 local government areas of the state, a situation he described as worrisome, and appealed to members of the communities and security agencies to address the situation.
While we commiserate with all the victims, we assure the people of the state that these unfortunate crises will soon be curtailed.
Meanwhile, Kaduna State government has set up a judicial panel of inquiry into the Kajuru crisis aimed at bringing lasting peace to the area. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
INEC meets with stakeholders on supplementary elections. Michael will tell us more in other reports from the Center of Excellence. It's nice to see you, Michael.
To see you too, Elizabeth, and welcome to Lagos. 19 suspects and 2 vessels have been arrested within Nigeria's territorial waters for arms and petroleum smuggling. They were apprehended during Operation Junction Rain, a combined effort by the United States and Nigerian navies to improve security and foster economic prosperity in the Gulf of Guinea. Dotun Ogunyemi has the details.
1 American, 3 Greeks and 5 Nigerians have been arrested in the smuggling of these sniper rifles with over 1,000 rounds of ammunition and military kits. They were apprehended during Operation Junction Rain. 100 ships were interrogated and 40 out of this number were boarded, out of which 1 was discovered to be smuggling arms and another involved in the smuggling of petroleum products was also arrested.
When they were interrogated, the captain made us believe that there were only 5 Nigerians on board. The boat was painted navy color, which made us to even suspect more. They were not shining their necessary electronic gadget and see which will indicate their position as stipulated by the International Maritime Organization.
Observers are saying that this is what the operation is all about, ensuring that illegal activities do not occur along the maritime borders of Nigeria.
There is no room for criminal operations at sea any longer. Any man that feels that he can come and disturb our waters, let him think twice.
We want to assure the public that we are going to have district investigation into this matter and the men will be brought to book accordingly.
The suspects have since been handed over to Interpol for further interrogation and prosecution. In Lagos, Dotun Ogmiemi, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the February 23 Ajeromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency election inconclusive and fixed Saturday 27th of April for rerun. The declaration was made at a meeting with representatives of political party in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
As early as 8 o'clock in the morning, political party faithful gathered at the Ajeromi Ifelodun Local Government Secretariat in Ajegunle to hear the verdict on the federal constituency election. The returning officer, Olusoji Ilori, said 379,676 voters registered for the elections in the constituency.
APC 28758, 28758. PDP 31982, 31982.
The electoral officer said the election became inconclusive in compliance with the margin of lead principle, where no candidate emerged clear winner as a result of cancellation in 71 polling units affected by violence and overvoting. Some of the representatives of the political parties expressed mixed feelings about the declaration.
If actually they are factual on the ground, that means that of the Senate and that of the presidency should have counted as well.
INEC enjoins members of the affected areas to conduct themselves in supplementary election. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
Catholic priests have been challenged to use their ministry in the service of humanity as they will give accounts of their stewardship before God. The Archbishop of Lagos, Most Reverend Adewale Martins, gave the charge during the Chrism Mass at the Holy Cross Cathedral. Ken Egbeluge reports that the Chrism Mass is significant in the Catholic Church.
Chrism Mass is held during the Holy Week in every Catholic diocese. During the service, the presiding bishop is surrounded by the priests, deacons, and all the faithful in the diocese. The bishop blessed the oil of catechumens, the oil of the sick, and the sacred chrism. These holy oils are distributed to all the parishes and Catholic hospitals in the diocese. The Chrism Mass is also an opportunity for the priests in the diocese to renew their vow as they begin a new calendar year. The Archbishop of Lagos, Alfred Adewale Martins, urged the priests to see their priesthood as an avenue to serve God and humanity.
It's also an opportunity for the lay faithful to also give thanks to God for the gift of their priesthood, so that all of us together can reaffirm our unity to work for the growth of the kingdom of God in our world.
Some Catholic faithful spoke on the relevance of the Chrism Mass.
To support the priests, to pray for them so that their vow will be solid before God. Because they do a lot of work. It's not easy to keep praying, to lift up their hands to God for us. And we need to be here to celebrate them.
It marks the beginning of a new year in the church's calendar, and I always like to come here to start it.
400 priests rededicated their service during the Mass in Lagos. Ken Egbeluge, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos back to Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Michael. Today is Holy Thursday, also known as Monday Thursday, to commemorate historic events leading to the death of Jesus Christ on the cross. The Last Supper is one of the accounts of Holy Thursday passed on to generations. But what is the take on certain jokes on being careful with a betrayal kiss as done to Jesus by Judas Iscariot? Talatu Izerike finds out in this report.
Spirituality draws man closer to the Creator, that is believed to be strengthened during fasting. At the commencement of the Lenten season, Christians are reminded that they were dust, and to dust they will return as they receive the ash on their foreheads. For 40 days, excluding Sundays, Christians are expected to fast and carry out other spiritual obligations of almsgiving and live a life of forgiveness and repentance. 19-year-old Dorothy Paul sees the benefit of the spiritual exercise she undertakes since the age of 6.
When religious tradition passed down from parents to children, all the fasting is about is discipline.
Dorothy, like many Christians, highly cherished the last week of the fasting period, known as Holy Week, ushered in by Palm Sunday. Clergy say the biblical account to the death of Jesus Christ on the cross is made manifest on Holy Thursday, a pointer to the Last Supper of Jesus with his disciples to celebrate the Passover feast of the Jewish tradition. At the Last Supper, Jesus Christ, as recorded, gave his disciples a new commandment, to love one another as he had loved them. He also commanded them to eat bread and drink wine in remembrance of him, a commandment the clergy say is followed to the letter with celebration of Eucharist at holy masses.
Left behind a church of people who hold firmly to faith in the things he said and the things that he did, and the importance of his death.
Another aspect of the Last Supper, many say, is exemplary leadership of Jesus in washing the feet of his disciples.
We must understand that we are all made in the image and likeness of God.
The story of Jesus on Holy Thursday is not devoid of betrayal, fear, and loneliness at the Garden of Gethsemane. Biblical account has it that Jesus in Gethsemane instructed the disciples to watch and pray so that they do not fall into temptation.
We should live for the will of God, not our own will.
There are also lessons to be learned from Judas Iscariot's betrayal with a kiss after he sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, an approximate equivalent of $17 in modern times.
We have come into the world that is full of sin, a world that you have all kinds of people. In all that, you still show them love.
So as Christians await the death and resurrection of Jesus, Dorothy, like many others, will strive to be Christ-like and indulge in right acts. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Thank you, Talati, for that report. This is Nationwide on NTA. Time now to join Agatha in Benin for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Agatha.
Hello, Elizabeth. Good evening and a warm welcome to Benin. The resolve to change Nigeria's characterization as one of the most corrupt countries in the world went one notch up at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption. It is in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency, NOAA. Ivy Omori reports that the meeting seeks to disrupt the notion that public service is a vehicle for self-enrichment.
The gathering had representatives from all anti-corruption agencies, paramilitary, religious bodies, government and non-governmental organizations. The Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption's collaboration with the National Orientation Agency is to ensure adequate enlightenment of the public. For the committee, the next level of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is not relenting in the campaign against corruption, hence the nationwide tour to sensitize the citizenry.
It is important for us to deploy all weapons available, even imaginable, in the struggle to destroy this existential threat called corruption.
We must work together to change the label of corruption on the nation and emphasize the positive core values of the typical Nigerian.
Agencies and relevant bodies also spoke on the need to eradicate corruption.
The war against corruption by Mr. President is a worthy cause that deserves the support of all meaning and patriotic Nigerians.
Take this message to the local palace of Nigeria, to your communities.
Value reorientation and the fight against corruption is the theme for the Enlightenment program.
All the war that is going on, things seem not to be changing, and that is because the people's attitudes have not yet changed. So that is why it's necessary, as they are going now, that we start working on this reorientation.
The Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption was set up in 2015 by President Muhammadu Buhari to help strategize and deploy systems to fight corruption. In Benin, Ivie Omoyi, NTA News.
The National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism and the House of Representatives Committee on Culture and Tourism are engaging youths in Edo State on skills acquisition. Ifoma Okafo reports.
Address the problem of youth unemployment and restiveness in Edo State, the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, NIHOTO, is joining hands with the House of Representatives Committee on Culture and Tourism to train youths in hospitality industry, production of snacks and confectionaries, and preparation of continental dishes. Stakeholders in the hospitality and tourism industry present at the event outlined the benefits abound for the participants.
Don't waste this position given to you.
It is better what you have on your fingertips. You will use it to take care of your people, take care of yourself.
At the end of this skill-based program, it is expected that participants must have acquired all the necessary skills necessary for them to become a professional chefs, a professional bakers.
For the participants, is a dream come true.
I'm going to put my hands together to make sure I replicate these things in the society.
I am very, very certain that I'll be able to put something together and also help to empower other youths.
About 34 participants will benefit from the 2 days training workshop. In Benin, Ifoma Okafo, NTA News.
And to religious matters, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria and Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Benin, Most Reverend Augustine Akubeze, is calling on youths across the country to eschew cultism, other social vices, and return to Christ. This was part of his message at the Chrism Mass held at the diocese. Jude Aweke was there.
This is the Holy Cross Cathedral in Benin, where priests and Catholic faithful and the Archdiocese of Benin are gathered to commemorate this year's Christmas. Christmas is celebration of the institution of the priesthood. During the Mass, priests renew promises made at ordination, while the faithful renew their baptismal vows. Holy oils used in sacraments throughout the year are blessed and given to priests to take back to their parishes. Most Reverend Augustine Akubeze blessed and consecrated the oil of catechumens, oil of the sick, and that of the Holy Chrism. In his sermon, the Archbishop condemned the rising cases of cultism in the state, advising youths to channel their energy to profitable ventures.
Some of you enter into secret societies that require you to make commitments that are contrary to God's way. I tell you, my dear friends, there is no need to remain on the path of perdition.
Some of the priests and Catholic faithful give insights into the day.
It's one day that we all come together to celebrate the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist.
Remind us of, the anointments of Catholics.
With the Mass over, the church is now set to commemorate Christ's resurrection from midnight of Saturday. From the Holy Cross Cathedral in Benin, Jude Aweke, NTA News.
That ends our package. Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Agatha. Now let's talk women in politics. One of the yardsticks used in measuring a viable democracy is the level of inclusiveness as it affects women in disadvantaged groups. This discussion is what some institutions and organizations are meeting in Abuja to analyze with the just concluded general elections as a case study. Mamso Deminati reports.
Shortly before the just concluded general elections, there were advocacies, roundtable discussions, series of meetings, and lobbying by women to see how a good number of them can be actively involved in the political process and subsequently acquire key leadership roles. The outcome is, however, discouraging, which informed the decision for this roundtable by stakeholders from national and international organizations.
We have 7 women now in the Senate, but like last time in year 2015, we had 7 women. The court removed 2, we were left with 5. Now in the House of Representatives that we had 27, in year 2011, we now had 14. There is this concern. Instead of us moving forward, we are moving backward. out. And we have brought different people together today to have a conversation. How can we ensure that these spaces that the women lost, that we get it back?
The reality is that there are structures on ground and systems in place that keep women out. The lack of democracy within the political parties. We live in a patriarchal society.
While assessing the role of women in disadvantaged groups, the Roundtable believes that early planning and re-strategizing with continuous advocacy will address the issue in subsequent elections.
I see nothing wrong for an election management body to make it compulsory for a party to submit new rules and constitutions that, for example, make provision for women representation. We can use the instrument of regulating parties to do that and ask political parties every 5 years to report their compliance with that.
Women should take control of the process, promoting the idea of the need for more women to come out and participate in the process, that women have the power, they have the capacity, but more importantly, they have the numbers.
However, given a good number of women appointed positions can salvage the present damage, they say. In Abuja, Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. More reports after the break. Stay with us.
Marketing of broadcast media products requires special skills which can only be acquired through training and experience. NTA TV College Jos is therefore organizing an intensive 3-week course on modern trends in broadcast media marketing. The course will equip participants with necessary skills to deal with contemporary marketing challenges and competition in the broadcast media. It is an essential course for marketers in the broadcast media to sharpen their skills and improve their capacities. Date 23rd April to 10th May 2019. Venue NTA Television College Refuge Jos. Course fee 100,000 naira per participant, accommodation inclusive. For more inquiries, please contact us on 0803 314 4383 or 0806 980 9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710, Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Thanks for staying with us. Civil society organizations monitoring utilization of recovered assets and looted funds in Nigeria says the conditional cash transfer program of the federal government to the poorest of the poor is working silently in changing the narrative of depression, hunger, and abject poverty in the various rural communities across the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Corruption in Nigeria has continued to take its toll on all strata of the country's economy, resulting in underdevelopment, poverty, and hunger in the land. Although various countries of the world have been repatriating these looted funds to Nigeria as part of efforts to reduce the act of corruption in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption crusade is gradually bringing sanity in all strata of the economy. The conditional cash transfer of the federal government of $322.5 million Abuja loot to the poorest of the poor is being monitored by the civil society organizations. 27 states are currently benefiting from the project with transfer of monthly 5,000 naira to the poorest of the poor as selected through the World Bank framework. This Mantra Project Summit brings together monitoring civil society organizations and development partners to share experiences on the exercise. The beneficiaries of the transfer program say their life is no longer the same.
I feel so happy. Before, we are not like this. But now, they help us.
The
purpose of this learning summit, I would say that this is a huge progress, and it again demonstrates Nigerian leadership on how to manage returned assets. And I'm very happy to be part of this history making.
The forum commended the National Assembly for the passage of Proceeds of Crimes Bill. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Governor Umahi received certificate of return. Chinenye will give us details in other reports from Enugu. Hello, Chinenye.
Hello, Elizabeth, and welcome to Enugu. Governor David Umahi has assured the people of Ebonyi State of more developmental projects that will boost industrialization and make the state an economic hub of the country. The governor gave the assurance while receiving certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the winner of March 9th governorship election in Abakaliki. Kingsley Okoro reports.
Electoral Commissioner Ebonyi State, Professor Goswill Obioma, who presented the certificate to Governor David Umahi, described the conduct of the elections in Ebonyi State as credible. He urged the governor to consolidate on the ongoing development in the state in the interest of the people.
A free, fair, credible election. On behalf of the Commission, to hand over the baton of democracy, the symbol of choice of the people, the way the people have spoken, and hand over the certificate of the government.
Governor Umahi dedicated his victory to God and Ebonyi people for their support. He further commended the electoral umpire and security agencies for exhibiting professionalism during the conduct of the elections.
I want to dedicate both certificates of return to my deputy and the wife and myself and my wife to first God Almighty for his mercies and grace, and to the Ebonians, especially those that lost their lives in course of this election.
Governor David Umahi was accompanied by some members of Security Executive Council. In Abakaliki, Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
To ease traffic congestion around the Nike and MNA axis of Enugu, work has begun towards the construction of the bypass recently approved by the State Executive Council. Flagging off the road construction, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi maintained that the state government is determined to open up all communities in the state through good road networks. Susan Eze has details.
The first phase of this road project was the construction of 5 river crossings, including culverts and bridges. This ceremony marks the beginning of the second phase of the Nike Lake Harmony Estate Adoration Ministry Emene Road project. When completed, the road is expected to decongest the ever-busy Nike Lake Road, linking it to Emene. To the State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, this is in line with the administration's urban and rural development agenda, bearing in mind the socio-economic importance of the road to the people of the state.
There's no doubt that when completed, the road will not only bring more desired relief to the residents and road users in this area, but will also engender a significant boost in socio-economic activities in the area and its environment.
Stakeholders from Enugu East local government were elated over the road project, which they noted will have a multiplier effect on the economy of the people. Meanwhile, from the MNA end of the 10.5-kilometer road, 3 kilometers up to the Adoration Ground has already been completed and inaugurated by the state government. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And that's it from Enugu. Elizabeth, is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
So much, Chinenye. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally signed into law Nigeria's new minimum wage. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that with this latest development, the least paid worker in the country takes home nothing less than 30,000 naira monthly. The effective date for the implementation of the act is the 18th of April 2019. President Buhari urged workers in Nigeria to reciprocate the government's gesture by working harder in the discharge of their responsibilities.
I expect them to be more committed to their work, whichever it is, whichever level. I would like them, with the cooperation of Nigerian Labour Congress, to look at the economic situation of the country, the population we have, the poor infrastructure that we are trying to do now in terms of roads, rail, and power. So I wish us, Nigerian workers, the best of luck.
This makes it compulsory for all employers of labor in Nigeria to pay to their workers the sum of 30,000 naira. And this excludes persons who are employing less than 25 workers, persons who work in a ship which sail out of jurisdiction, and other persons who are in other kinds of regulated employment, employment which are accepted by the Act. Now, it also gives the workers the right, if you are compelled by any circumstance, to accept salary that is less than 30,000, for you to sue your employer to recover the balance, and authorizes the Minister of Labor and any person nominated by the Minister of Labor or any person designated by the Minister of Labor in any ministry, department, or agency to, on your behalf, take action in your name against such employer to recover what the balance of your wages.
Time now to join Caleb in Jos for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking Persons, NAPTIP, has reunited 11 children trafficked from Tahos Community, Riam local government area of Plateau State with their families. Ben Mitu reports that the exercise was carried out in collaboration with the Plateau State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development.
The case of Ella Jerry is the most heartbreaking. She is 3 years old, and many people are wondering why a parent should give out such an innocent child and for what benefit. The oldest among the kids is 16 years. These kids were trafficked sometimes in February this year from Tahos in Riom local government area. The Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development and NAPTIP pleaded with parents to take full responsibility of their children's upbringing.
Today, the case of child trafficking is on the increase, and government is particularly worried.
Destination was Epoma. This is not the first time we are bringing back children from Plateau
Plateau State. It's like Plateau State, particularly Riom local government, has become an endemic area.
The Ministry of Women Affairs, under whose custody the children have been, handed them over to Riom Local Government Council.
I want to sound a very big sound of warning to the communities of Riom local government that this should be the last.
While 11 are being reunited with their parents who refused to appear in the hall, the remaining 3 are in NAPTIP's custody, helping in investigation. From Tahos in Riom local government area, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
Elizabeth, Jos is done.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Another break beckons. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the role of the media in election coverage. Exclusive on the National Broadcasting Commission, its mandate as the sole regulator of Nigerian media. Dr. Toba Daba Ben and Ishak Modibo Kawu. Now, this edition also features the king of stand-up comedy in Nigeria, Ali Baba. NTA standards to be ready for election transmission after decades of abandonment. Find out from the DG transactional elections in our political space. An evil wind that blows no good. DG, National Orientation Agency Corporate. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, x-rays the impact of social media on electioneering process as electorates present their expectations from incoming government. Meet some TV professionals behind the screen and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Thanks for staying with us. Up next is Sports Update.
As Team Nigeria continues to increase